a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC Podcasts are a service of CNC News brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. The town of Arundequoit carried through last night on its threat to file code violation charges against the owner of the Medley Center. Supervisor Adam Bello and Arundequoit's fire marshal went to court shortly after their 5 p.m. deadline for correcting problems at the empty mall passed. They accused Burson Properties and owner Scott Conjal of storing flammable materials inside the mall and with failure to maintain working fire alarm and water sprinkler systems. Bello says that's a risk in case of a fire and also a legal liability for the town if someone gets hurt. Town officials weren't satisfied with a letter from Burson Properties stating how the company plans to respond. The inspector went in after a water pipe burst and also found water damage inside the building. Rochester's Department of Environmental Services is pushing the clean-out of downtown streets and sidewalks along the route of Saturday's St. Patrick's Day parade. Temperatures will be near 50 today, giving some help in melting what Wednesday's blizzard left behind. Sunshine yesterday helped street and sidewalk plow crews make good progress getting side streets and parking lots cleared out. A snowplow trying to clear the Lake Ontario State Parkway was wrecked and a Hamlin man has been arrested for DWI after he triggered a 3-vehicle pileup yesterday. State police say the plow was clearing the breakdown lane on the eastbound side at the Long Pond Road exit when a pickup truck came from behind at a high speed, tried to swerve around the plow. The driver hit a car following the snowplow, then hit the plow and ran it off the road. All 3 vehicles were banged up and 2 people were treated for minor injuries, and troopers charged 45-year-old Darwin Snow of Hamlin with driving drunk. The city of Rochester is looking for a few good names for the new street and the public square being built as part of the Midtown Rising project. Mayor Lovely Warren's office says City Hall is accepting name suggestions through the end of the month, either mailed to Midtown Naming Suggestions at City Hall or online through the city website. The names have to be grounded in Rochester or Rochester history, and they can't be the name of a living person or someone who has died within the previous year. Include a written explanation of why your suggestion is important and no more than 400 words, please. There's actually a 4-step process that has to be followed to name a street. City Council gets the final approval. A court filing has formalized the agreement between Eastman Kodak and state environmental regulators that gets Kodak out from under the burden of any future environmental claims on the Eastman Business Park. The agreement between Kodak and New York's Department of Environmental Conservation has Kodak paying $49 million into a trust fund. The DEC will use that money to keep equipment running that pumps contaminated groundwater out of the Eastman Business Park, and will also use it to clean up the sediments at the bottom of the Genesee. The DEC will match the Kodak money with $50 million of its own if more funding is necessary. Monroe County Legislature Democrats want to tighten county ethics rules by imposing a 2-year ban against former county employees going to work for any county local development corporation or LDC contractor. The Democratic caucus says several former county officials have taken jobs with LDCs or their contractors, including one who's currently under indictment on state bid rigging charges. Legislator Cindy Cayley of Rochester says this creates at least the appearance of conflict of interest. A group demanding election reform in New York fanned out across the entire state from New York City to Buffalo, hanging banners in public places yesterday as an act of civil disobedience. They put one up on Exchange Street near the Times Square building. The group is Money Out of Politics, or MOP Democracy, and it wants Governor Cuomo to keep his fair elections proposal in the state budget. The group founder Matthew Edge says he suspects the governor will trade away campaign finance reform because he doesn't want to bite the hand that feeds him. Governor Cuomo has more than $30 million in his campaign fund, and Edge says 45% of it came from people giving $40,000 or more at a time. State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman says his office has reached agreements with 4 of the nation's largest background checking agencies not to automatically disqualify job applicants who have past criminal convictions. Instead, they'll note if the applicants they're vetting have a conviction on their records and leave the decision-making up to the potential employers. New York law makes it illegal to automatically disqualify a job applicant just because they have a criminal history. You get your next CNC podcast whenever you click on one of our pages and catch one. We post updates around the day. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.